Coach Tuesday interview. Marcy, could you confirm that we're recording and we're live? Because I still see, oh, there we go. We're out of practice mode. So every Tuesday, my goal is to put on the mortgage industry's best sales meeting and pump you guys up to kill it in today's market. Let's face it, it is a big time in the mortgage business. There's purchase business, there's refi business, and we have better systems than ever to close a lot of loans. So it's a good time. Today, I'm going to be doing a top producer interview with Brian Manning out of Boulder, Colorado. Brian closed 20 loans last month. And Brian, what do you think? Are you trending 25 loans in the months to come?
Yeah, I think we're on track for 20 in June and 25 in July.
Cool. Yeah. So killing it. And I, the reason why I wanted to do this interview is I did a 20-minute video interview with you several weeks ago. Maybe it was a little over a month ago. And it was just clear there was a bigger story to tell. And I had more questions I wanted to ask you. The community of Mortgage Coach had more questions we want to ask you. So, we got 57 minutes left of questions to ask you.
Awesome.
Mortgage Coach community, I will be paying attention to the questions that come on in Facebook Live. Not only will I bring those questions into the conversation live, but if you put them in to the recording, I'll keep an eye on them. Brian will keep an eye on them, and we'll do everything we can to get all your questions answered. So Post them down below. And if you do get some value, like you're listening to this and you're like, that's a good idea, give us a like. Let us know that you like it.
Yep.
So Brian, let's just start. I told everybody where you're at in Boulder, Colorado. Tell us how long you've been in the business and a little bit about your mortgage practice.
Yeah, so started in 1998 and originally started in South Florida. Still licensed in Florida, moved to Colorado 7 years ago, and didn't know a single person when we got here. And first thing I did when I got here was look at the top 100 realtors in Boulder and just start going after them. And so I know that it's hard work to go into a market, but I also think anyone can go into a new market if they work really hard to make it happen. So yeah, we're 21 years into this, and I don't know what else I would do. I love it. I haven't seen a better opportunity yet for time and opportunity, income, et cetera. So that's it.
Well, I love that story. And so been doing it a long time, bit new in this market. And is all your production today in Boulder, or are you still doing loans in Florida?
We still do a little in Florida, but I would say Florida makes up maybe like 5% of our overall production. We market to our past clients there still a little bit, but mostly everything we go after is in Boulder and Colorado in the Front Range and the Denver surrounding area.
What was your why? Why did you move, kind of mid-career? You'd been in the business 12 years. Most loan officers that are successful, like, I can't move because this is where my business is. What was your why?
There was a bunch. I'm born and raised in Florida, so I was just ready for a change. And my wife was born and raised in Florida as well. She was ready for a change. And she's a CPA and got accepted into a PhD program and to a bunch of schools around the U.S. And one of the schools happened to be in Boulder. So when we traveled around and looked at places, we pulled into Boulder and our jaw hit the floor. We knew we loved Colorado. We love Boulder. And so we came here on vacation. We started with a 5-year plan of moving to Colorado, and then it was a 3-year plan and then a 2-year plan, and then it hit a 10-month plan, and we just packed it and took off. And I just felt like it was a place where I could work and do business. The people in Colorado it's just our style. It's a great place. It's easy to be friends with your past clients. Florida is just a whole different animal. I love South Florida. But Miami and South Florida is a whole different beast compared to what you deal with in Colorado.
Very, very cool. I was born and raised in Denver, and still thinking about moving back, and always be a Denver Bronco fan.
That's right.
so go Broncos. Well,
with the last name of Manning, you got to be a Peyton Manning fan and a Broncos fan.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Now, what are your primary referral sources as of today?
Yeah, so our primary referral sources are going to be, number one is always going to be realtors, has always been and is realtors. So we're about 55% of our business is from realtors. Number two is going to be past clients. So we're about almost 35% past client. And then number three is going to be online reviews and people that just find us organically. So we happen to be the most reviewed lender in Boulder as well. So it's really easy if someone's just Googling, Boulder, Colorado mortgage lender, we crush everyone. We have, 80% more reviews than anyone else that's out there as far as online reviews. So that's going to be number 3 for us.
And when you say online reviews, there's Google, there's Zillow, there's Yelp. What are the, how are you pushing people to give you reviews?
So our primary platform, number 1, is going to be Google and their Google business page. So I can tell everyone out there, if you don't have a Google business page, do it. It's your online resume. It's free. It's easy to set up. And if someone just Googles you, it's the first thing that's going to come up, and Google runs everything. And then our number 2 is going to be Zillow. And then number 3 will be Facebook. We were using Yelp. I'm just not a big fan of Yelp. We were the most reviewed Yelp lender. We had like 76 Yelp reviews. And then one day they wiped them all away. That's a whole different topic of conversation. So, so we focus on 3, and that's the 3. Yeah, Google, Zillow, and Facebook.
Okay, good to know. If anyone has questions about anything I'm asking, put them down below. In a minute, I'll take a break and get into that. And then, you're doing a lot of production. If you're closing 20, 25 loans, it's not just you. You've got a team. If you could just kind of walk us through what that team looks like.
Yeah, so I'm the front end person. I deal with all the client interactions, referral partner building, et cetera. Then we have Glenn, who's a production manager. So he handles all of our disclosures, follow up on financials, appraisals, et cetera. We have a marketing director, and she handles just everything marketing related. And then we have 4 processors behind us as well. And that's it.
So getting after it, 4 processors, keeping up with the volume, killing it. Let's walk through your tech stack a little bit, just, the type of technology that's driving your business. And I'm not looking for you to advocate for any one technology. I just want to what is the tech stack that you have?
Yeah, and I think technology is huge, right? It's the world that we live in. And I also think the technology is ever changing. So whatever your tech stack is today is going to be different. And can I tell you the one Mortgage Coach interview, or it wasn't even an interview, it was this girl that did a snippet that got me so excited for Mortgage Coach, was this girl that was on the ski lift. And she sent this in on your page and adjusted her TCA while she was on the ski lift, and kind of showed the flexibility and the mobility of Mortgage Coach. So of course your number 1 in your tech stack is your mobile device, and you can give me crap because I still have an iPhone 7, which I will replace and it will get updated.
Please, no, I want a date. When are you going to upgrade to the 10? We'll do that later.
So of course, number 1 is mobile. I use an iPad with LTE because you need to be able to access Mortgage Coach pre-approvals, et cetera, without relying on Wi-Fi. And then we have just an HP laptop. So I think mobility is super important. As far as programs that we use, of course, we use Mortgage Coach for every client that we work with in various stages in the process, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Our CRM is Active Campaign. Actually, our marketing director, Casey Reardon, found this and put it together, has put a tremendous amount of work into that, which we just love. It's super robust and works really well for us. We send out HomeBot to our past clients. That's kind of the monthly email they get from us. We try and not inundate people with our past with emails. We try and really go for pertinent information, and that's the main stuff. Other than the normal Microsoft products that we use, but those are really the main ones we function with.
Cool. And we will obviously get to Mortgage Coach and make sure we talk about that. When I promoted this, and I thought one of the things that was really interesting and unique about what you're doing is how you're using video. So let's first of all just talk about it from a strategy perspective. Why video? How video? And I want you to kind of include all the different things you're doing, because you're doing Mortgage Coach video, you're doing text-to-text video, and any other ways that you use video. Let's just kind of go down the list.
Yeah, so let's maybe go from referral partner through Mortgage Coach, et cetera. So yeah, we do text videos on a consistent basis to our referral partners. I just think that, it used to be a phone call, right? I've been doing this 21 years. So we first started on a phone, and then the email was impactful, and then a text message was impactful. And now we kind of think that a text video is the most impactful. And text is by far the most read, delivered form of communication. So we do a lot of those. And, I think that we're probably different than most, because I can tell that some people, it catches them off guard. They're not sure how to react. Some people, they love it. It's kind of all over the place, but we have really good success with that. And then we do a lot of video with our clients as well. So a lot of our clients, we haven't met at first when they do a pre-approval with us. So we do video that we send to them and our initial email back to them after our first phone call. I'm just trying to create a personal touch, personal content, right? People don't know me. They talk to me on the phone, and I'm trying to just kind of create some friendliness and association there. We use video with our mortgage coach and explaining the products and how the mortgage coach works. We use video post-closing. We use tons of video, and it's nonstop. And people love it. And also, Boulder is a very tech-savvy area, right? You have Google here, Disney Animation here. You have a lot of young tech-savvy people here. So the video is just spot on with most of our clients here.
Cool. So I want to pull up our Facebook group real quick.
Yeah.
And a couple shout outs. So one, Shannon O'Hare from Montana, Bozeman, Montana. She was the one that did that share lift shot. And so Shannon, did you hear that? You were an inspiration to Brian. And to the whole mortgage coach community. I would love to see more mortgage coaches just showing how they're using Mortgage Coach to deliver value to family in the real world and putting it on social. So guys, challenge, who could do something as inspirational as Shannon? And Shannon, let's see if you can one-up yourself.
Yep.
Also want to do a shout out to Emmett Dempsey. Yep. Check this out. He posted this like an hour ago. My guess is you were an inspiration to get him to do this. Yeah. And this is what makes the Mortgage Coach community awesome. Like, we've got great professionals sharing what they're doing, and then Emmett playing it forward. So here's a question I have. If you are using video strategically, let us know down below how you're doing it. Like, hey, my best video strategy is X. And if you're not, like, you've strategically made a decision you're not, I want to know why not, because Brian and I want to be able to talk to you about why you should. If you're a local referral-based mortgage pro and you want your future to be better than your past, we think you should get on the wagon. So we'd love to hear from you during the call today. Also, I want to do a big shout out to Michelle. Great job, Michelle. One of my focuses this month is to push loan officers to deliver transformational advice. And I'll talk a little bit about what that is later on. But Mortgage Coach community, please check out this video. Give Michelle some feedback. I'd really appreciate it.
Can we talk about it really quick for 1 second?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So I really think that one of the areas that we as mortgage lenders really miss the boat is in financial planners. And Michelle's utilization of a TCA here just crushes it with the value prop for financial planners. And I think that that's a really easy way to set an appointment with a financial planner and show them how you guide their referrals through the home buying process, because every financial planner's concern is that they're going to lose money if someone buys a house. And I know the financial planners that we work with have always been a great source of business. We don't even have enough of them. And I think that she's on it with that. So I just think it's a good opportunity.
So with that said, I also want to shine a light on, this is on our Mortgage Coach strategies page. This particular interview is also in our YouTube channel. Have you seen this one, Brian? It was with Craig Strent, and he's out of Washington, D.C., top producer. His primary referral source is financial planners.
Yep.
And he does a TCA, and I interviewed him, but I really think the way he shows a 30-year versus a 15-year in Mortgage Coach is absolutely next level. It's like every Mortgage Coach loan officer should know how to do this strategy that he does.
Yep.
So homework assignment, anybody that wants more business from CAPAs and financial planners, check this out from Craig Strent, and I promise you it'll help you get more business from financial planners. With that said, by the way, how much business do you get from financial planners?
Not enough.
Not enough?
I think right now our professional referral sources are only like 5% on an annual basis, and that's CPAs, insurance agents, financial planners, etc.
Got it. So strategy, way for you to upgrade and get better. Remember,
Yep.
guys, if you have questions, put them down below. So let's go through your strategy of, you know, text to text video. I know I did a full interview with you on this, but I just want to assume that people didn't watch that.
Yep.
Want to make sure they know what you're doing, how you're doing it.
Absolutely. So I think number one on that is your CRM, right? Because we have a lot of realtors that we work with, whether they're partners or prospects, whatever it is. There's, you know, easy 100, whether, you know, it's people we work with or we're going after. So I think having your CRM lined up is really important, so you can just easily see who's next, so you can easily get through the videos, because it's a really fast process. My average video is between 19 and 21 seconds, 22 seconds, right? No one wants a long rambling video. So number one is going to be CRM. And then, yeah, I just found that it was easier to get to a whole bunch of realtors on a consistent weekly basis by sending them videos. And so many realtors right now are busy, they don't always want to talk. So our strategy on Fridays is that if I'm around on the weekend, we're sending out videos to all of our realtors, letting them know that I'm around. Or, you know, maybe there's a time when I'm not going to be available. I'll put that in the video as well. You know, if I'm going to go out for a run Saturday morning or whatever it is, I have a block that's not available. And I just use this, this little selfie stick that's got a tripod on it. And I put it on my desk. There you go.
And Brian, I think you use the same one I use, right? It looks like this.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what it is.
So guys, I can't emphasize enough how awesome this is.
Yep.
It was given to me by one of Dan Keller's team members. And dude, I love it. I love this selfie stick. Get yourself one. Get the same one. And if you find a better one, let us know what it is.
That's right. Yeah, and you know, it's just so easy. You just open up your phone on that little selfie stick tripod. You have your CRM in front of you, and it's just a matter of just pushing through your database and reaching out to people. And we use it consistently, and we get so much feedback on it. I share with you some of the feedback of the videos I got last week from doing it, with some of the kind of the video conversations that go back and forth, and we love it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I also use that feature. I do multiple videos daily. How many videos are you doing per day or per week, just so people can get clear on the type of activity you're driving through this channel?
It's easy, 150 a week.
So 150 less than a minute.
Yeah.
In many cases, less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I just saw a question from Michael Green. He said, could you do a quick script on your realtor text? So if you don't mind maybe doing 2 different scripts that would be good examples of exactly what you say and how you're saying it.
Yeah. So number one is just, hey Dave, Brian Manny here. Happy Friday. Hope you had an amazing week. I just want to let you know that I'm going to be around all weekend. If you have any questions, you're working on any buyers, you need a pre-approval done, call me anytime. It don't matter. Saturday, 8 o'clock at night, I'm available. Just reach out whenever you need to. That's number one. Number two, it's a prospect realtor that we're going for. It's, hey Dave, Brian Manning here. Happy Friday. Hope you had an amazing week. Just want to check in, let you know that I'll be around all weekend. If your go-to lender does not answer the phone, you need a pre-approval done, call me, text me, whatever works for you. You can reach me anytime, all weekend long. Love to help you any way I can. That's number two. And then number three is if we watch our realtors on social media. So if we see something that is notable, then we try and make a comment of that in the video as well. Like we had one last week, her name was Carrie, had an amazing picture of her husband and his Rottweiler drinking coffee in the morning, and had this, picture on Facebook that was like, best sunrise ever. And so my text was, hey Carrie, it's Brian, happy Friday. I just have to tell you, like, that picture on Facebook was amazing. You made my week. I loved it. Your husband, the coffee, the Rottweiler, just incredible. And just want to let you know I'll be around all weekend. Give me a shout if you have any questions, right? So that's pretty much it. I don't think people want long rambling messages, and it's that over and over. And that's all it is.
Yeah, well, you're showing that you care, you're personally connecting, and we all know just showing up is half the battle. So you're, I just saw a comment here, Casey Lane. Hey, Brian's marketing gal here. So by the way, Casey, thank you for jumping in, getting after it. If anybody likes what Casey just put in here, give her a like on her comment. But first of all, read this. But she says, he really doesn't follow a script to his realtors, but between the two of us, we kind of stalk them online. You guys just heard an example of that. We see what they've been up to, and he tries to connect with them in a super personal way.
Yeah.
And it's authentic. Like, he's not going to say something's cool unless it's cool. He's just going to, if he doesn't have something cool that's real, that's sincere, he's just following up as a mortgage guy.
Yeah.
For example, hey, realtor, saw you heading up to the GoPro games in Vail last weekend. Sweet. You know, he's being himself.
Yeah.
You know, using slang. I went there last year. Anyways, I'm not going to keep reading it, but I think you guys get the gist. We're talking about showing you know me, and you're talking about just showing up, and then you're talking about putting this in an uncluttered channel. You know, so huge. So let's talk about adding a video to your advice, meaning adding a video to Mortgage Coach. How do you do that? Why do you do that?
So again, we add video because so many people that we work with from pre-approval to closing we've never met. And we do go to closings. I go to every single closing possible. I know this is something you had wanted to talk about as well. I just think that it's one of the best ways to spend your time. But since we haven't met so many people before closing, we're just trying to use video to create a connection. But number two is a lot of people are going to review Mortgage Coach before I have a chance to meet them or talk with them. And it's a very robust program. And especially for first-time home buyers, they may not know the features of it. They may not know what to look for. So we also use it kind of as an opportunity to explain the TCA to people and help them get dialed in on the features of it and how to look at the 5-year. We use 5 years and 10 years typically for our long-term and short-term goals. But how to use a cost comparison in the 5 years and really how to really pay attention to what's important in this and really set ourselves aside from anyone that's just using the normal view worksheet or loan estimate or whatever it is. And we do welcome people to meet or do a Zoom video conference like this to go through it as well. But I think that the video intro in the beginning really sets us apart with really just helping people get a grasp of the whole process.
Cool. So guys, keep the questions coming. I see a few more. By the way, Richard, you said you missed it. This is a video. This will be in our YouTube channel. So we're not going to redo it. But go, mark the time that you missed and go back and listen to the video. Also, this is being recorded in Facebook Live, so you can go back and check it there. You could probably even just scroll back and start listening from a few minutes ago. But thank you for participating in the community, and guys, keep the questions coming. So let's transition to really dissecting your local, how you're being a local advisor, and that will consist of Mortgage Coach. But let's just start with, why do you use Mortgage Coach? How to use Mortgage Coach? And then let's do a couple stories and strategies and pull some scripts out of you.
Absolutely. So we really use Mortgage Coach very specifically in 3 different steps in the transaction. And we could use it in more, but we really have identified three steps. So the first one is we always use it in the pre-approval. And in the pre-approval, the purpose of Mortgage Coach, at least originally, is we look at a price range of options. So if we pre-approve someone for $800,000 purchase price, I'll put together a Mortgage Coach and send them a TCA that shows like 800, 750, 700, 650 from different purchase prices. Because sometimes, and we work with a lot of first-time home buyers, we're just trying to educate people in the beginning what the price range looks like, different cash to close, and different monthly payments. So we use it for almost every pre-approval that we do to help them really identify that, which we have really good success with, and people just love that. So that's number one, is in the pre-approval side. Number two is that once someone's under contract, if we're then going to compare multiple loan options, then we'll use it for that, and then we'll customize it specific to the transaction. So whether it's buying down the rate or jumbo versus non-jumbo, piggyback versus non-FHA versus conventional, whatever the scenario is going to be that meets the borrower's needs, we'll use it in that side of the transaction. And then, because I also find, this is crazy, I don't even know how this is possible. I never have anyone that ever says to me, "Hey, Brian, thanks for sending me your Mortgage Coach. I talked to blah, 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 so-and-so lender, and they have a TCA as well." No one's ever said that to me. They've never compared my TCA to someone else's. What the heck? It's just, it blows me away, right? Everyone's doing exactly what we said before. They're just using the same PDF loan estimate and they're not separating themselves. So I'm not complaining. It's great, but it's still shocking to me that we don't see that. So that number two is once they're under contract. And then number three is once they've closed, then we send them a TCA that shows now their specific closed scenario. And then we put in additional principal payments. So we do like 100, 200, 300, 400 additional principal payments on a monthly basis. And we now show them that they've closed, how they can accelerate the payoff of their mortgage as well. So we do that about a week after closing, send that out to them, and then that sets us up for the annual review call as well. And yeah, so that's the 3 months.
So guys, I mean, if you want to optimize your conversion, if you want to deliver families what they want, value and advice and an educational experience, that made a lot of sense. So let's do this. Let's pull up your screen and I want to do the almost the last one first. I want to do the client for life one first. Remember folks, you guys can guide a lot of this conversation. So put your questions and comments down below. For the next 10 minutes-ish, we're going to drill down on your advice. If there's scripts that you guys want, if there's samples of emails that you want, this is a virtual site visit. This is a top producer interview. We're here to find out what Brian's doing great. So tell us the story behind this and tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is our TCA that we send to a borrower that's closed. We put in all their specific closing information, whatever the value was, new loan amount, interest rate. So, we put in here whatever is the current information. And then we put in $100 a month, $200 a month, $300 a month, $400 a month extra. And we just do the same. We keep it the same 100, 200, 300, 400 for everyone because it just keeps ease and congruency when we're pushing these out post-closing. And then, we send it out to the clients. And then I follow with a phone call. One, I just want to make sure they got this, and I just kind of run through it with them so they can see what the cost savings would be. They could look at monthly payment difference, but we kind of show them, over 30 years, their savings over 30 years based on each scenario. We look at interest they pay. So we just run through the whole thing with them because a lot of people think, oh, I really want to pay extra every month, but they don't do it. And I think one of the reasons why they don't do it, other than lack of discipline, is they've never had someone actually show them the cost benefit of making the extra payments every month.
So walk us, because I think that's where it becomes transformational. Like you go from transaction to I'm helping you build wealth with real estate faster, and I'm positioning you to buy your move up home faster.
Yeah,
so walk us through how these various impacts over different periods of time.
Yeah. So the conversation, the first thing we actually, and I actually think this is one of the most important conversations we have. The first one we ask them in this conversation is what was their thoughts on the overall process? And is there anything they wish that we did differently? Right? Because they're closed and we really want honest feedback. Number two, if they said, hey, we had a great experience, then I ask them to leave online reviews for us because we definitely have found that if you ask for reviews, you get them versus if you don't ask, you barely ever get them. And then we go into the client for life. We explain to them that we're going to reach out to them once a year through the annual mortgage review. And then we tell them that the way that we start this is by looking at this total cost analysis, which is helping them pay down their mortgage faster and invest in their future and invest in real estate. And we ask them if they've ever considered paying down extra every month into it or what the cost benefits would be. And no one says yes. Very few people actually have ever considered doing it, even though they should. And then I asked them if they have it in front of them, if they could pull it up and if we can kind of go through the whole thing. And that's it. It's a super easy phone call to do.
So guys, if you were a consumer getting a big mortgage, would you appreciate this conversation from your lender? Like, would it, anytime you can get a family to go, I haven't thought of it that way before. Yeah. And wow, I want this guy in my corner, which I basically just paraphrased from Amber Kovark that I interviewed a couple of weeks ago. Like, that's the name of the game. It's how many times in the course of the experience that you deliver can you get the family to go, I hadn't thought of that. We're so lucky to have Brian in our corner. And that's information they can't Google. Like, let's face it, we live in this Google world where everybody can Google anything and everything. They can watch YouTube videos and learn how to do everything. But this is the type of advice that makes you the obvious choice. It makes you indispensable. So, Brian, two things. One, will you share the link to this in comments so people could check out this TCA?
Sure.
And then two, I had a number of questions. Could we get a sample of the email that you used to forward this to a client? Would you be willing to share that?
Absolutely. Yep, I can definitely do that.
Okay, cool. So that was killer. And guys, so this is after he's delivered the transactional experience. He is now saying, I'm your lender for life, and I'm helping you at Evaluate 10 days after close. Like,
Yep.
Boom. That's a wow. One last question. Is your assistant doing this, or are you doing this? Like, how are you executing this as a team?
That's a great question. Yeah, so our assistant he creates the TCA after closing, and then I typically take 2 days per month, and I do all the phone calls.
Got it. Okay, so, and guys, if you don't have an assistant, first of all, you're not closing 20 loans a month, so you have the time to do this. Make this a top priority, because you're also going to get referrals out of this. Does that ever happen, Brian, where you're having the conversation, you're giving this, and you're actually coming away with a referral? Does that ever happen before?
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal. We just tell people we want to be a lender for life. I just ask them, hey, do you know anyone else that's buying a house or wants to refinance right now that you think would find value in this? And I just ask people. I think that's part of it, is you just got to ask people. And then they know you want referrals, but if you just delivered a flawless process to them and you're still delivering value with something like this, why be afraid to ask?
Cool. So ask for referrals. So now let's go point of sale. What do you do at the point of sale? I think that was where we started, so we can kind of get a feeling for how you start, the not the transaction, but the relationship. What's the advice experience at the point of sale? Pull up another TCA and I'll tell you when I see it.
Yeah, you mean on the pre-approval side?
Yeah, pre-approval. So how did we start that with a mortgage coach experience? And then I've got a number of questions that have come in. Appreciate that, guys. I'll get to them in a few minutes. Keep the questions coming. And I also have a lot more questions for Brian. We're halfway through. So you've already killed it. We still have 30 more minutes. So, by the way, I just saw an intake form. What percentage of your clients do apply online, through your digital experience?
So I would say we're like 98, 99% all through online.
Okay, so everybody is going through your online digital experience. What percentage are coming into your office versus, pure digital online experience?
We don't get enough into the office. I always try and get people to come in, and very few want to meet. So we're probably like 5% are actually people that want to come into the office.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not many people.
So, by the way, if you need a minute to set up, I have like a minute or two of content I want to go through. Okay, you get some things set up. I want to take you guys through a couple thoughts, and it's a keynote that I'm working on called the Mortgage Coach Manifesto. And here's my thinking on this. Like, if you think of today's home buyer, like, what is it like to be a home buyer in today's world? And first of all, you got to back up and you got to go. It's not just about being a home buyer. It's about doing life in today's world. Most of them have purchased something on Amazon. Most of them have the Amazon app. They know how to order on Amazon. They know how to track a package on Amazon. The world is starting to expect this Amazon-esque experience and way of doing life. Let's face that. And then number two, they're on Facebook. Most of them have a Facebook app installed. So that's becoming the normal commonplace. Most of them have a big bank app, or whoever they do their banking with, they have the app. And let's face it, if they have teenagers, they know how to transfer money. I mean, they know how to pull over alongside the road and transfer money. So they're using their mobile device to communicate, to purchase, to do life, to manage money. Most of them know how to use Uber in today's world. Many of them are consuming content, whether that's Netflix, Amazon Prime. I mean, this is the world we live in today. I mean, my mom, who doesn't have good enough eyesight, and not bagging on your mom, who can't do text, when she takes vacations, she knows how to use Airbnb. She's figuring it out, and let's face it, Starbucks. I mean, the list goes on. And if you're buying a home, You know how to use Zillow or some search for a home app. So what do today's consumers want? They want convenience. They demand convenience. Convenience wins. They want value. They expect quality. They absolutely live in this world of immediacy. I want it now, and I want it all the time. I want it anytime. I want choices. We expect choices. We require personalization, and let's face it, we reward personalization, accessibility anytime and all the time, and affordability. So I break this down, and I've created this puzzle. I call it the obvious choice puzzle for mortgage professionals. Just look at the experience that you're delivering. I think Brian epitomizes this. Like when you really break down the experience he delivers, like when we get done with this interview, it's like literally he has every piece of the puzzle put together. And when you look at most loan officers, they don't have this puzzle put together. Your business is built on a broken puzzle, and it is costing you money. And here's the deal, guys. Competition is heating up, and it's heating up fast. I mean, this is what competition looked like, last year. This is what competition looks like today. So competition is here like never before. And what does that all mean? It means that rate shopping is here like never before. So I want to skip ahead. I want to remind you guys, about the experience that most loan officers deliver. This is the experience that most loan officers deliver. I can close a loan fast, easier, and I got the best rates. And then, of course, the way you deliver those rates and fees and that transactional experience, I mean, this is what it looks like. And I have 2009 on the top, because here's my question to you. How different is the way that you're delivering your rates and fees versus 10 years ago? It's not that different. But by the way, is the world different today? And just further making the point, how different is the way you're quoting rates from 20 years ago, 1999? Heck, when you really break this down, most loan officers are quoting rates like it's the 80s. That is the transactional experience that you're giving families. Same thing you did in the 80s. And today's home buyer lives in a different world. They have different expectations. They expect who they do business with to really crush this obvious choice puzzle. So this just kind of brings back Mortgage Coach, and I want to do the next 10 minutes of this interview, Brian, about how you're delivering on this. Like you're giving people choices. Yeah. You're giving every family personalization. Everyone who does business with you is getting this personalized experience. Mm-hmm. You're giving them accessibility, whether they want to come into your office, it's an option. Oh, you want to do it all digital? Yeah. I'm going to crush it. It's like as close to an in-person experience as possible. Mm-hmm. You're delivering huge value. And again, you're doing a TCA. So I just want to go through the checklist of what Brian's doing right now. So like, this is the checklist. And when you see what Brian's going to show you next, just check it off the box. Like, does he have his picture and personal brand? Yes. Is he using video? Yes. Is he delivering transformational advice by showing graphs and charts? Yes. Doesn't have the social survey integration, but did you hear it? He's integrating reviews into his sales conversation. So let's kind of do the rest of this interview where we're literally checking off the box: personalization, convenience, value, localization, choices, immediacy. Let's just go down the box, and I'll let you share the screen. Remember, guys, if you have questions, if you're getting a takeaway, put it down below. And Brian, pull up your point of sale experience, and let's kind of drill down on it from that view.
Yeah, so this is, and I very much agree with you. I mean, we're all consumers, right? We all want answers immediately. I'm a consumer. I know if I want something, I want an answer immediately, which is, it's not that I want to work 7 days a week, but people are shopping for houses on weekends. They need information on weekends. So the portability of Mortgage Coach to be able to change this through a cell phone is really nice, because you can do this everywhere. From our point of sale in the beginning, this is an example of TCA that we do. So we just tell people, hey, we're going to do your pre-approval. And in our pre-approval process, we're going to figure out a maximum amount that you qualify for. But especially as a first-time home buyer, you may not know what this means. So in the beginning, our goal is to start looking at some different scenarios and look at a price range of options that are available for you so we can help you dial in on monthly payments and cash to close. And so we ask them questions at the beginning, have they looked around online? What's the price range they're looking at when they poke around online, max monthly payment that they don't want to exceed based on their own personal budget, available cash to close. We're asking them just the basic stuff in the beginning. And then putting together this, example TCA here of for a first-time home buyer that he really had no idea where he wanted to be, and he didn't know any of the numbers, and they don't know anything about mortgages, so they don't know what closing costs are. They don't know anything, and so this is a great example of what we put together. So this guy was pre-qualified, I think up to like 500K. He knew he didn't want to go that high based on his own personal budget. We talked about what his kind of budgetary limitations were, and then this is what we put together for him. So it's just the price of $375, $350, $325, $300. But what I find is that when any of our competitors do a pre-approval, they just send them a pre-approval, right? They've never talked to them about loan programs. They never talked to them about, maybe they'll quote them a rate just like you showed through that one-page PDF, but they haven't really educated them on anything. And the consumer doesn't have any idea the cost difference and a price range that we have here. So our goal in the beginning is to get away from that one-page PDF, just like you showed, and really help educate people on the options that are available in the home buying process. And, someone that maybe is a more savvy buyer, not a first-time home buyer, maybe we're looking at adjustable rate mortgages compared to fixed rates. There's all kinds of different scenarios you can put together here. But on the surface, when we're just trying to show a range of options, we just stick to the easy 30-year fixed. I just do 0-point loans because it's the easiest to explain to someone. And they understand the information. It's very digestible, and that's pretty much it. And I just tell people, hey, what we want to make sure doesn't happen is that you are uneducated. We tell you your maximum pre-approval amount. You go out, you find a house with a realtor, then you start to look at the numbers associated with the transaction. Then you realize that the home doesn't meet your own personal budget, and you cancel the contract and walk away. At that point in time, you're just upset and you feel defeated and deflated. So we can avoid all that. Let's just educate you in the beginning on how this entire process works. So, and I guess I'm a believer that this whole process is very front-end loaded with the pre-approval, right? The better we can educate people in the beginning and train them through this TCA, and the better we can help them see what their options are, it eliminates my work in the future, because once they're under contract and I've done the application, I'm done. At that point in time, they are well educated. They know exactly what's going on. So yeah, this is our pre-approval point of sale TCA that we pump out over and over and over. And guys, if you have a template set up, you can literally do this thing in 5 minutes or less. It's so easy to do.
Well, I might, if we have time, have you show us how to create a TCA in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
So this is the purchase digital experience.
Yeah.
Will you share an email that would be an example of how you deliver this to a client, to a
Absolutely.
family?
Yep. For sure.
Because that's how they're judging you. They're judging you by how you showed up in the phone call.
Mhm.
They're judging you by the quality of the email. They're judging you by the content. How simply and valuable do you net it out for them? And they don't know that they're judging you, but when you get them to I hadn't thought of it like that before.
Yeah.
They love you. Now
Yeah.
they trust you. So let's do one more quick, because we got about 20 minutes left, but
Okay.
I really want to close out around taking action.
Yeah.
Okay, you got all these ideas. Your coach, Michael Reagan, just jumped in, and I want to address his question, because we all know, whether you're a coach or you get coached or you don't get coached, but it's all about execution. These are great ideas, but if we don't execute, what good are the ideas? So show us a refi experience, just because there's a refi, boom right now. Might last 3 more days, might last 3 more months, might last over a year. But what are you doing, and how are you using Mortgage Coach to get after it with all the refis in your database?
Let's see. I don't have a refi one teed up right now. I'd have to go dig in and find it.
We'll just send it to me afterwards, so we can put a link down below, and give us an email of a refi TCA.
Sure.
And then just stop sharing your screen and give us a quick kind of the Brian Manning checklist to optimize refis, and how to use a Mortgage Coach to do it.
We use our refi is done really for primarily 2 different areas. Number one, it's going to be people to remove PMI, because a lot of people think, it's only whatever 3/8 or 0.5% reduction in rate, is it really worth me refinancing? So if we can look at we've been lucky, we've gotten really good appreciation here. So if we can look at a comparison of refinancing to new products, removing PMI versus where they're at right now, whether it's going from FHA to conventional, or maybe they bought a house with 3 or 5% down, that's one option. And the second one, probably the most powerful, is just paying off debt. And, if you have credit card debt, you'd be surprised, even going up in rate on your mortgage, usually for the purpose of consolidating debt, is going to be a significant cost savings for people. And those are really the two primary refi areas that we work with TCA.
Beautiful. So if you could forward a couple refi TCAs, one power tip for everybody on this call that wants to deliver transformational mortgage advice: when you show the payment savings in the refi, always have a column where you show prepaying the mortgage.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, here's the refi and just getting the cash flow benefit. Here's the refi, reinvesting it. Look at how much faster you can pay off your home.
Yep.
Look at how much faster you can build off that. That's where you go from transactional loan officer to transformational mortgage advisor. So every chance you get, do a reinvestment strategy, or depending on the client's, financial sophistication, do an asset appreciation. And that's also a good opportunity and a good way to get to the financial planner. Let me follow up with your financial planner. So a couple pro tips on that. So let's transition to what your coach just brought up, Michael Reagan with Building Champions. Good friend, great coach. He's like, he wants to he said, hey, these are all great ideas. Love your value prop. Love how you're executing. How are you tracking all these activities? Like, what are your daily rhythms to stay on track?
Michael Reagan loves his tracking. He has forced me to become a data junkie. So I will tell you this. I heard for so long through so many titans in this industry, Greg Frost and all these people, like, you're never really in business until you start tracking your numbers. And I always thought, I track my numbers. Like, I thought I did. And then Michael Reagan got me going on this spreadsheet. It's called Navigator. It's through Building Champions. And I've never tracked my numbers like I have over the last couple of years. So I use Win by Noon to track my numbers on a daily basis. And I think you just have to have something that's easy in front of you to track your leads that are coming in, the lead sources and where they're coming from. And then we we tie that into Navigator, which is a spreadsheet that tracks everything on a monthly basis. So we really, every single month, can find out where our business came from, who sent us referrals. And then Michael actually trained me now to start looking at our data points of like current year compared to prior year, which I think is really important. I had never done that before. And so now we're looking at, what does April in 2019 look like compared to April 2018? Who's our referral sources? Are we losing business from people? Are we gaining business? Is our realtor intake and referrals higher than it was before? It gives you all the data points. So yeah, it's really those two, Win by Noon and then Building Champions Navigator, lets us track everything. And it's pretty intriguing. Can I tell you one thing I think is crazy?
Please.
I thought that I was so good that I was converting like 80% of the pre-approvals I did. The amount of people I talked to were just using me for a mortgage. The first time I did Navigator with Michael Reagan, we really tracked our data. I realized that my conversion ratio was horrible. And what I thought was really good, when I really looked at the data, it wasn't really good. So it really got us dialed in on conversion ratios and paying better attention to if we're losing people, why we're losing them. So I think it's really important for that.
No, I mean, that's what business people do. They track their key metrics, and it sounds like you're doing it daily with Win by Noon. Everybody knows I'm a huge Win by Noon fan, not only because it helps you track your daily activities, it helps you adopt key tools. Like, you're going to do a better job of using Mortgage Coach if you're tracking your TCAs, and TCAs are in Win by Noon. Are you tracking your videos? Every time you send that video, is that a trackable activity?
I do. And I track the videos we send, and then I actually track them as quality conversations that come back, because to me now texting is potentially as good of a conversation as a phone call. So if we send out videos and then we engage in a conversation with someone that gets back to us, to me, that's a quality conversation. So we do track all of that.
So, and that's it. I mean, if you're in sales It's all about how many people do you have quality conversations.
Hmm.
Good to know you're tracking quality conversations, whether they're digitally or over the phone.
Yeah.
I support that. I mean, I do think there's some coaches and people out there that, no, if you didn't talk to the person, it's not a QC.
Sure.
But I support that. I mean, there is absolutely a digital conversation that's a QC. And guys, track your metrics. Brian, any chance you could share a picture? I don't want to get too personal, but maybe a picture of 1 month of your, I can't remember what you call it, your navigator or your win by noon, just so people can get a feel. You have to do it right now.
Yeah.
But is that something you could deliver, in comments
Absolutely.
below later?
Yep.
Guys, this interview has just been spectacular. So much value. First of all, any questions I haven't asked you that you just think, Dave, here's something I think people would want to know. Anything I'm missing?
A couple things. So I have to tell you that one thing I really love about Win by Noon is it lets you realize when you're not doing anything. That's the best. It's the best self accountability tool, because if you track your information, whether you're just checking boxes or whatever it is, and hey, we get crazy days, you get things that fires that have to get put out, whatever it is. So sometimes we definitely get away from prospecting, and I think one of the benefits of Win by Noon and tracking all this is most important is it lets you see when you haven't prospected, right? Because if you lose Monday and you lose Tuesday and you're looking at your Win by Noon book, and here you have 3 days left, and now you have to step it up for those 3 days to make up for the prior 2 days. I think that's really important, is to really see, when you are prospecting and when you're not, because if you go too long without prospecting, then, you're going to go out of business real quick.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's two things. One, going from being a transactional advisor, not delivering a TCA, to doing it. I think that's one extra loan a month minimum. And going from a loan officer that has goals, tracks activity, to one who has documented goals, it tracks activity, boom, extra money, extra loans every single time. So I'm gonna close. My last question, just telling you what it's going to be now, so you have a few minutes to think about it, is going to be, I want you to think back of when you were a new loan officer, before you had a month where you closed 10 loans, and give some advice. What advice would you have to your old self who had never closed 10 loans before? So that's going to be the last question of the interview.
Okay.
But what I want to do before we get there is, you've shared a lot of things that have to do with your borrower experience and how you're delivering this awesome borrower experience. And then you shared how you're keeping in touch with realtors, staying present. But how are you using Mortgage Coach, and how are you using the fact that you're delivering this, advice experience? How are you integrating that into your realtor value prop so that your realtors see you as uniquely valuable? Like, what are you doing there?
Great question. So we cross-sell realtors when we can in the video that we're sending to our clients, because a lot of times we haven't met them. Maybe the client's new for the realtor as well. So we do a cross-sell in there for the realtor, just tell them that we're pumped up to be working with Daphne, whoever the realtor is, and they're in good hands, and they can be reassured that it's going to be a great process. And then we send the TCA to the realtor, so they can see that we've cross-sell them to the client, and then they can see kind of the experience we're bringing to the client as well, because we know that no one else is doing something like that for them. So I think that works out really well for us.
Do you, and I've heard this when I interviewed Tim Brahim, he talked about making sure every realtor's gone through your borrower experience. So they get it, like, hey, these are the questions I ask, this is the deliverable I give. Is that something that all of your realtors have gone through, so that they really understand your value prop?
Yeah, and so I have sat with all of them and kind of gone through the whole process, and they're familiar with it. And I think the reason for me why that was important is because they all know that their clients are going to talk to me first. So at least they have firsthand experience that they can relate to their client of, hey, when you talk to Brian, here's what you're going to go through, and they know exactly what it is. So yeah, I think that's actually really important.
And by the way, guys, did you hear at the beginning when he moved into Boulder, he started by, who are the top realtors I want to do business with? And then he got after it. And then he has a great process. He's educated on those process. And you can just tell from this interview, the guy executes day in and day out to get after it. So remember, in the Mortgage Coach video, Edify the Realtor, when I interviewed Shayla Gifford a week ago, she did a whole, I had actually never heard anybody edify the realtor better than the way that she does it. and her pre-approval experience. So, you know, you probably like what you do when you're on the phone with the client and you're connecting with them. That's, you know, the long form edification. And then there's the mortgage coach shout out. It's a little different, but always make sure that you're giving a shout out to the realtor, and then make sure you're looping in the realtor. They're CC'd, they're in the loop. They understand that the way you deliver mortgage options is different and better, and you're making sure they're getting it. So we might have time for more questions, but let's jump to that. You know, like, you're new in the business, you haven't closed 10 loans. What advice do you have to your old self?
You know, I'm a believer that marketing is everything, right? You could be the best at mortgages and tax return analysis or whatever it is, but I'm still a believer that marketing is everything. And I think if I went back to my old self, it would be to focus immediately on marketing. And then the second thing would be just prospect double more than you think you need to. And I don't think I prospect enough when I was new into the industry. And I think it took me a long time to get to the volume that we're doing now, because we didn't get to really seriously taking prospecting on until a few years ago. And I think to my old self would be, don't underestimate the value of carving out time every single day to prospect. And if, you know what, if you're new in this industry, you probably have 2-3 hours you could prospect every single day, right? If you're seasoned in this industry, you easily have 60 to 90 minutes you can prospect every day. So that's my number one thing. And prospecting it could be anything, right? Going out to lunch with a partner, calling people. It's a variety of different actions, but I don't think I prospected enough when I was younger in this. That's
really, really good advice. So I'm going to go through the thread of questions here as we wrap up in the last 5 minutes. So Casey Lane, thank you. She put a link to one of your emails. Robert Wallace said, this guy is awesome, so willing to share his success formula. He obviously lives an abundant mindset. That is quite obvious. There's some stuff that's not in here. So for those of you that are asking for more stuff, we'll get it in here. We got a few people saying how cool Win by Noon is. We will put a link to Win by Noon in here. If you could follow up with some of your other reports. And then I want to close out, because you said marketing a couple times. Like, what does marketing mean to you? Like, when you say I would have marketed more, like, describe that. Like, so at least we know what you mean when you say that, because it's a pretty generic word.
You know, our marketing now, I think, is just really casting a big net over realtors, past clients, et cetera. So, I mean, I think our marketing now is anything from texting, videos, emails. We do past client events. You can do, you know, whether it's a party at your house, classes for realtors, lunch and learns for realtors. I just think that there's so much that we can do in the world of marketing for generating business. And some of them you can't quantify the return value on immediately. But if you do a past client party and you get 150 of your realtor partners and past clients together, you know, maybe you don't leave that party with a loan, but you better believe that you're going to be top of mind with these people for quite a long time. So for me, I just think marketing it's just a wide variety of so many different ways you can generate business. And it's really about finding what resonates with you, right? Do you want to throw past client parties, or are you a more one-on-one person? You know, whatever works for you.
Yeah, I think when you hear Brian, and like me netting it out, I'm going to share my screen real quick. It is everything. If you do business with this guy, you are just getting everything here, you know. And one of the things that I think really distinguishes you is that the hyper personalization that you're doing so consistently. I mean, 150 text videos a week. Think about that, guys. Like, if you had targeted realtors, and every week you're doing a 10-second to 30-second, I know you, I'm here. I mean, that's marketing. It's selling and it's marketing.
Yeah.
If every single family got a total cost analysis, think about that, guys. The Mortgage Coach TCA it's marketing. I mean, it's selling and it's marketing. You know, I'm trying to pull up one that you just shared. Thought I had one ready to go. Actually, could you pull up one of your TCAs? I want to close out on that, just because I think this is something that people, they miss. The fact that the total cost analysis is not only a very active sales touch point, By the way, I had to stop sharing my screen first. So you can share your screen. It's not only an active sales touch point, it's also a marketing touch point because it's a link. It's a digital link. How many, and you probably know because you get alerts when people look at it, how many different times are people looking at it and how many different times do you think they're sharing it with people?
I don't know how many times to share, but I do get the alerts, and I actually love the alerts because I always wonder, hey, when I send this out to someone, do they actually take the time to take a look at it? And I'm pulling up this last one right now. This was one that actually helped us actively win a deal because they spoke to a competitor.
Oh, I like that.
And they talked to a competitor, and the competitor was selling them on an FHA transaction. And because rates on FHA were lower than conventional, and they were all up in arms that my rate was higher than what the competitor was trying to sell them. So I did this analysis of conventional versus FHA. And yes, even though the FHA rate was lower, they still ended up at a cost savings on the conventional option versus FHA. And this was, $625 purchase price, $555 loan amount. And we just went through the whole thing with them of the cost savings over 5 years. And I always do this at 5 years because I think it's a really digestible amount of time for people to look at. And this helped us win a deal on a purchase transaction, which I loved.
Yeah, recommendation, guys, to make it transformational. Take that monthly savings and apply it to the principal. Yep. And so it's like cash flow savings or build wealth faster, pay off MI faster, move up faster. And guys, this is marketing. It's all about these super personal, local, valuable experiences. And if you do that, you don't have anything to worry about. Well, hey, man, let's stop sharing the screen. I can't thank you enough for the hour that you just spent here, the transparency that you brought to the mortgage coach community. If you're watching this and you're a mortgage coach and you're not giving a total cost analysis to every family, hopefully we made a case that you should. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're not even an active member of Mortgage Coach, there'll be a link down below to sign up and become a mortgage coach, whether it's in YouTube or Facebook, link down below to sign up and get on the team. Brian, any last words of wisdom you want to close it out with? Just a last suggestion as a leader in the community.
We talked about this the other day. So your video, you just got to do it. Guess what? That's you. And that's what your voice sounds like. And so many people I talk to are like, oh, I can't do video because of my voice or whatever. But forget all of it. Just get comfortable with who you are. Send out the videos. I promise you people will love them. And you just got to go for it. You got to get through the shy factor and just make it happen.
Right on. Well, hopefully you guys got value. Give us a like. Share it with your mortgage friends. Comment with questions, favorite takeaways. Or if you have questions for myself or Brian, let us know what they are.
Sure.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one, Brian.